This is the Misunderstood Guidance podcast. These
All
are
right.
precious minutes you'll never
That's not
get
right,
back.
but 4:15.
I'm going to say it's 5 because easy minutes. Get 2 extra friendship minutes.
Yeah, it's 5. So start recording. Are we recording?
We've already been recording,
Oh, we have.
but we got to do the intro. So should
Okay.
we be like, it's like,
Oh, yeah. Time for the podcast. That should be good.
that's good enough.
Yeah.
No rock and roll.
Screw him.
I'm never paying that guy for this intro.
He's getting 1 cent per day, per podcast.
I mean, what if we're like super famous one day? He's going to come back and we're going to have to owe him like $300,000.
I hate to break it to you. I don't think we're going to get super famous unless
You never
commit
know.
a huge crime. That's pretty much our only shot at being incredibly famous. I wonder if that's why people do some of those. Like, I want to be famous. This is my only way of doing it.
You know, we should start a cryptocurrency company and call it GHX.
I don't think we already have a
GTX.
cryptocurrency company. Everybody can just say you started it and you've got a cryptocurrency company.
You know,
Dude, I actually heard that you can make a ton of money on Bitcoin. So I quit my job recently.
yeah.
How do you get Bitcoin? Like where? I just saw
You
online.
mine it.
I saw online you can make a lot of money.
They sell pitchforks at the Menards.
You just dig it out of
and
the
you
ground.
mine it. I heard all about
I've
it.
been digging for that Bitcoin forever.
My neighbor's getting mad. I'm bitching. All these trenches are in my yard.
Haven't found a damn Bitcoin yet. Anyway,
All right, Larry.
what's going on?
You're
What-
on.
What do we-
Spotlight's on you. What do you want to say today?
What do we have to talk about? Boy, there's a lot of stuff. Oh man, I've been getting in some good arguments on Twitter recently.
Dude, we should do a Twitter argument. Not all of it,
I
but
haven't convinced anyone to change their mind online ever,
I was watching.
and I'm actually a good arguer.
I was watching Ricky Gervais's stand up.
Yeah.
Again, like because they're older, and he was talking about how he's arguing with people about like animal cruelty. You know, I can't use the words he uses. Mm-hmm. Hilarious though. He's like, so they wrote me something nasty, and like the adult comedian professional I am, I wrote back.
So this one was interesting. Just the other day,
Yeah.
there was I can't remember what the original post even was. I think it was someone who takes Reddit threads and screenshots them and then puts them out on Twitter or whatever, just like ridiculous stories.
Oh, gotcha.
And it was something about abortion rights or whatever.
Sure.
And I made a comment, and someone was like, it's impossible they were talking about like the 12-week time limits or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to
Like not they believe after 12 weeks.
well,
now
that's
it's
just that's just the law.
Okay.
So some of these states are saying, hey, you can have an abortion up to 12 weeks, and after that you can't.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm pretty hey, whatever. Like I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go with whatever the rest of the culture says is fine.
Okay.
It's
You
not
go
real-
with the flow.
It's not really my beef. It's
Okay.
one of those things. It's not my. I don't have a horse in the race.
All right. Well, you are a man, Larry, so you don't get to
Well,
decide.
but I have daughters, so I
That's
would
true,
say
that's true.
I would say for the sake of the podcast, I'm pro-choice.
Yeah. Well,
But
you
I-
have 3 women and a female dog, so you have 4 women and
Yeah.
you in that.
Yeah, but I would also say like it shouldn't be taken lightly, and it's a serious thing.
Yep. Yep.
It's not nothing. But
All right.
I don't think they should make it illegal. I
So
don't
they-
think you should lock people up for it.
So is this how it got thrown up on Twitter? Or are you reading something that was already done?
Someone had already made a
Got
comment
it.
about something,
Okay.
and I just said, hey, if you go on, the person was basically like, it's impossible for someone to know if they're pregnant before 12 weeks, and I'm like, well, that's not really true.
Yeah.
Like there's ways.
Blood tests and everything, right?
Urine tests. You just pee on a stick.
Yeah.
And you can buy those tests on Amazon like in bulk
Yep.
for like 100 of them is
If you're buying them in
$25.
bulk, you might want to slow down.
Well, no, but this is the point. So if the law is 12 weeks,
Yeah.
then you need to be checking all the time. Let's say every 2 weeks, but that's like 50 cents a month.
Yeah.
So I just post, hey, if you live in one of these states, it might be wise to do the urine test more frequently so you can catch it sooner.
Yep.
If you know you've been active, if you know there's a chance you could get pregnant and you don't want to be pregnant and the time limit's 12 weeks, go get these tests.
Yeah.
Like, they're cheap. If you just go down to Walgreens and buy like a single one, they're expensive. So don't do that. But basically, you know, we all got used to taking COVID tests all the time. This is nothing. You just pee on a stick, you test, you wait, it tells you one way or the other.
Yep.
It's just a precaution. And this lady was like, it's always the woman's responsibility, isn't it? Now we have to spend money on one more thing. And I'm like, you can get a lifetime supply for $125.
A lifetime.
A lifetime supply.
Wait, menopause lifetime?
No,
Or-
it's like basically 25 years
Okay.
of testing for $125.
Got it.
All right.
So 30 to 55, $120.
Yeah, yeah. Because they're 25 cents a piece when you
Yeah.
buy them in bulk.
Yep.
And bulk is like 100. It should last you a couple of years.
Yeah.
And maybe they expire. I don't know. But they're dirt cheap
Yep.
if you go on Amazon and buy them.
Okay.
And she's like, where are you going to... Then I was like, it's not that expensive. And she's like, where are you going to store them? And I'm like, how big do you think these are? Like, these aren't like... They're small. They're like the little test strips that you stick
you're
in like
not-
a hot tub to make sure it has chlorine in it.
You're not bringing like 120 to spring break 1998.
No, exactly. And you take it like every 2 weeks, and like just this lady was arguing. I don't think it was a lady. I don't know. She was just arguing with me about why this is ridiculous, and I'm like, okay, then don't do anything. Never
Yeah.
mind. Forget I brought it up.
You'll find out when you're throwing up your food the next morning.
Yeah.
Then you'll know.
Well, that was the point. They were like, well, some women, it's not as predictable, and I'm like,
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying get some of these urine tests. Well, they're not 100% accurate. I'm like, you know what? Never mind. Just wing it then. Do what you were doing before.
You ever
Whatever
seen
do,
those-
Don't change anything.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
You ever see those videos where
Actually,
like
you know what you should do? Just keep complaining about it. That's definitely a solution to your problem.
did you ever see the videos where or the like stories at least where people they're like I didn't know I was pregnant.
Oh yeah, there's
Like-
crazy stories of people who were like,
I
was
just
on
showed
the
up.
toilet and like, well, there's a baby, and you're like, what?
I
Do
know.
They have to be.
They're like
drugged
I just
out,
thought
man?"
I had indigestion for 8.5 months.
Exactly. But that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
if that's the case, if you think you might have a hard time knowing, then just pee on the stick every 2 weeks and be like, okay, I'm good.
I think you came up with a new idea. We should Shark Tank this to Cuban.
Shark Tank it.
Yep.
Put a brand on it. I had this idea for a show called Shart Stank.
Okay.
Shart Stank.
Didn't you send this to Dusty Slay?
I think I might have.
You did.
I sent it to a couple of comedians.
Yeah. What'd they say?
I never heard back.
It must be off the charts.
If they
or
launch
they
it,
stole your
I think
idea.
they stole the idea. And the name can be changed, but the concept is that you've basically got 3 or 4 people who
Okay.
have a terrible product idea.
Okay.
Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But they are like really believe in it. They've been working on it for a while.
It's
And
like something that hides your key and opens your beer.
yes,
Like something like that.
all of the above.
Don't steal that idea because it's mine.
So it's some stupid idea that like it's got to be a thing, like a gadget.
Okay.
Because the idea would be each of these people come onto the show. They pitch it just like they pitch on Shark Tank, but they're pitching to a panel of comedians.
Got it.
And it's a roast. So the comedians then just make fun of the idea.
Yeah.
They rip on the person.
So it's like
who's doing
Jeff
it.
Dunham, Dusty Slay, Jeff Ross,
Yes. You name it.
Nikki Glazier.
Probably not Jeff Dunham.
You got to have a woman in there.
Yeah, Nikki's fine.
Nikki's good.
But not Jeff Dunham. Nope, we don't need a puppet guy. On
Yeah,
there, is what I'm
well,
saying.
he could be a guest. Who would be your fourth, though? You got to choose.
Like Norton,
Okay.
Jim Norton. He's
Okay.
like a roast
Yeah.
comic. You get some roasters up there,
Okay. I like it. All right, continue.
or you could have a revolving panel. And
I just want to know your top 4 so in 10 years from now, when you're doing stand-up, they could just go back and be like, you didn't choose me as your top 4.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't in your top 4. Actually, I think it would be cool to have like a rotating panel. So there might be like one or
Every
two,
season.
There might be like 1 or 2 judges that are always there. Every episode, you could bring in like 2 guest comics.
It's got to be like American Idol, though. You got to keep a little consistency.
That's what I'm saying. So you could have like 2 lead comics and then 2 like guest comics.
Got it.
And maybe
Okay.
even part of the show could just be interviewing the comic. I don't know.
Yep.
But But the idea would be they then pick one of those people
Okay.
and they essentially win like $50,000.
Love it.
And then with that $50,000, they can pay off whatever debt they took on for this stupid idea, whatever.
Yeah.
But then
Or buy a farm.
the show would actually have a website
Okay.
where people could go buy that product.
Love it.
So we would actually make it, and it would have to be some gadgety kind of junky thing. But that's the idea, that you would make it and then you would sell it as like a gag gift, and you can go to our website and actually buy this stuff. I think it would be I think it's a good show
It
idea.
reminds me of like the hat with the long hair. Dusty makes a joke about it, but when we were
The
kids,
hat's attached to the hair.
yeah, it was like a big deal when we were like younger.
Yeah,
Everyone
or
buy
even the
these
hat with
trucker-
the beer cans on the side of it.
Yeah, something
You
like
know, with the
that.
straws, like stuff like that, like lame pet rock. Really just wackadoo kind of ideas. Something that's
I think
relatively cheap to make, and
I
get a
think it
couple of
would.
engineers, design it, and have it manufactured, sell it on the website.
Yeah.
But the main part of the show would just be like roasting these people and their ideas.
Yeah, that's the point is to roast.
Yeah,
That's
the
why you
point is
need
that
like a
it's a
Jeff
roast.
Ross on it.
Yes, you're like making fun of them, joking around, having a good time.
Speaking of
Yes.
Jeff Ross, we were just talking about this recently. You had a cardiac arrest.
Oh, my cardiac arrest, yeah. The best part about having a cardiac arrest,
Did you get a second shot?
yeah, I don't know. People ask me if I had any out-of-body experiences,
Yeah.
and
Like did you see something or did you go somewhere?
yeah.
Yeah, because everyone, you read articles on it and they're like, out of body is like I saw myself.
Right.
So that's why I'm just trying to clarify. Like,
Yes. I did have an out of body experience.
Okay.
And I basically went to what I think is heaven.
okay.
But I got to tell you,
Yeah.
going to heaven feels a lot like getting shocked with a defibrillator 8 times. So for anyone who's like really looking forward to heaven, it's just getting shocked with a defibrillator. That's what it felt like.
Is that how many times? Was it 8?
Yeah, 8 times.
And look at you. You look great.
I'm fine.
More muscular.
I'm fine.
Everything.
I get the nervous tick every now
I mean,
and
you
again.
drove here.
I did, all by myself.
Good for you, Larry.
The other thing is when you're like 40 years old,
Yeah.
no one tells you you're young anymore.
Yeah, well, they're not like, hey, you're super young.
Right, because you're not young. But when you have a cardiac arrest when you're 40, everybody tells you how young you are. It's kind of nice. Like I hadn't
It is true.
I hadn't been told I was young in so long, and then I have a cardiac arrest, and everyone's like, "No, you're so young." I'm like, "You're right. I am young.
You know
I
what
got my whole life ahead of me.
You're right. I'm like 50% of the way there.
Yeah.
I still have a
I
shot.
got my whole life."
I was telling my wife on the drive the other day, I said, wouldn't it be weird if instead of saying like, I'm 40, like we count up. What if you counted down? She's like, well, how long? You wouldn't know if you were to live to 100. I said, let's just say we say 80. So it's like, hey, I'm 30. You're like, dang, he's only got 30 years left.
I know, it's a countdown clock.
It's a countdown instead of a count up. What do you think?
Morbid.
You don't like it?
Well, if you do pass it, you go into negative numbers.
That's true.
I think we should just count in months like a child.
Okay. So you're like, I'm an 8,000.
Yeah. When you're
200
10,
months.
you're 120 months.
Yeah.
When you're 20, you're 240 months.
So you and my
When
number
you're
was
30,
totally
you're
way off.
360 months. Like, how old are you? Like 360 months old.
Parents do that though. They're like, how old is he? And you're like 36 months. You're like, 3? Like, yeah. And you're like, come on. Like
36 months.
that's been joked about before, but
I
it's
think you're
people.
supposed to stop at like 2.
I think it's 2.
Yeah,
feel
because
like he's 18
there's a big
months.
difference if your kid's like a year and a month
Yeah.
versus a year and 9 months. There's a big difference in
Definitely.
developmental. So I get it.
Yeah.
But after some time,
Like
it's like
1 to 3, you learn everything, right? That you need.
Yeah.
And then 3 to 20, nothing.
nothing. I didn't learn anything between 3 and 20.
So she
Not
didn't
a
like my
thing.
countdown clock idea, but I would put that on the old Dusty Slay Shark Tank.
That's
whatever.
one of the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And you just have it in your house, and it's just counting down the
Yep.
days.
Every day you rip off a date, and you're like, man, this is getting thin.
There's someone, I think that does exist. I think there's like a wall calendar basically to incentivize you to try to do more with your life.
Oh, really?
And it's
a
like,
thing?
yeah, and it's like every month is like a block on there.
Wow.
And you cross them off. So you can look at that thing and be like, dang, I'm I'm wasting time.
Yeah, or like I didn't do anything this month.
I just, I would prefer to go forward just imagining that I'm going to live forever.
That's a good outlook.
That's just easier. And then someday
but
I'll just suddenly die.
I mean, you did,
I did. I
but
know.
you're back.
That's what I'm saying. It was actually not a bad way to die. For those who, it sucks for everybody else around you because it's very sudden. But for you as an individual, it's just like poof.
Yeah, because it like happened. Like you're like you didn't even know.
I didn't even know.
And you're just like,
I just woke
boom.
up in the hospital. I was like, huh? What the hell am I doing here?
You're like, am I 68?
And then I talked like Joe Biden for like a week. What's going on? What is all this? Who are you people?
So
Am I the president?
when we were going back to the original point, so we got Jeff Ross to do one of those cameos.
Oh
for
yeah,
you.
Jeff Ross did the cameo. I was looking for it the other day. I couldn't find it. I know I saved it.
I haven't. I didn't made the account.
So
I bet it's got to be on there.
You think they save him for that long? It's been 2 years.
I don't know. You're not that important. They probably the clouds
delete.
clouds like let it rain. Get rid of that.
We gotta clear some storage space on here.
I bet I have it somewhere, like in my email.
I know I saved it to my phone, and I know I backed up my phone, so it's in like some folder of 50,000 photos.
We need to like stop. You're the editor. We should stop this and then play it. So I'll find it for you, and then we'll stop this video. You just do a clip, and then we'll go back.
Let's just pause for a moment.
All right. We're watching it.
All right, and we're back. I can tell you right now, I'm not doing that. It's too much work.
We're not good enough.
That's too much work. Maybe if we can find it next time, I'll just hold it up to the camera.
All right. We'll figure it out.
Here it is.
They need to understand, like, we're in a basement, and, like, we just went out on Facebook and got some cameras.
Oh, yeah. So for the viewing, at-home viewers, if you look, Ryan, switch the camera to you.
All right. It's on me.
So if you look behind Ryan, you'll notice there's some paneling on the wall there.
Yeah. It's super fancy.
It's really nice paneling. It came with the house.
Rental.
Came with the rental house. And it's just leaning up against the wall. It's not actually affixed to the wall. If you pay attention to the corner there, it's pretty behind me. But as we're sitting down to prepare for the podcast today, a chunk of the wall fell over.
Look, once we hit 1,000 followers, and I can pay for real wood paneling.
What the hell kind of podcast studio is you running here?
It's on a budget.
Walls falling down.
It's always funny because, like, I have people that come down here, and they're like, "Oh, this is the studio," and they're like, "It's not what we thought." And we're like, "Well, you're so zoomed in, you only need like this
What were
much."
they thinking?
I don't know.
This is your beat laboratory.
I know, like I'm not Dr. Dre.
Been in the lab with a pen and a pad trying to get this damn podcast off.
Speaking of pen and pad, we do have it. It still has the same numbers I wrote on like episode 1, 8:45 and 9:30. That's when we're supposed to end.
Do you think we should address the fact that we haven't done one of these in a while?
Yeah, I think so. Because people are like, what is happening? I've been asked, by the way, seriously, only family. I've been asked multiple times, they're like, when is the next one coming out? And I'm like, Larry, he got a new job. Big deal. I'm super busy. I mean, you're the manager of the McDonald's.
Those are all excuses. The real reason we haven't done a podcast in a while is because I was testing you. I was testing your commitment. Kind of like a boyfriend, girlfriend that she's like, I'm not going to text him about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait for him to message me.
I mean, I
was waiting every day by the phone for you to send me a text message to be like, hey, it's time to podcast, buddy.
All right. Well, we're back.
The message basically never came. I cried myself to sleep.
A month and a half later, it did.
I cried myself to sleep. I mean, look, if you want to disappoint our adoring fan, that's on you. But
well, well, actually,
you would think having gone this long without podcasting, we'd have something interesting to actually talk about.
Well, since the one of the reasons was you went on spring break.
Yeah, we did go on spring break. Don't try to pin this on me. We could have had a few in the can before that.
A lot of people went on spring break. A few in the can. A lot of people went on spring break like the past couple of weeks, and I always find it fascinating. You're like, where'd you go? Number one place, Florida. Everyone you ask, at least in Michigan.
Oh yeah,
Florida.
We went to Florida.
Yeah.
It was great. When we
Well,
were
you went
down
by
there,
yourself,
we
and then
had-
you brought your
When
family.
we were down there, yeah, I went. I went down there by myself. I ran into my family down there. Turns out they were staying at the same place I was. Damn it!
You're like, whoa, you have Marriott points?
How are you? How can you afford this place? It's
But
really nice.
but you went to Pensacola?
Pensacola area. It's called Navarre Beach.
Oh, is that the cheaper side of it? I
It's
don't
the
know.
Cheaper side. No, it's like the resorty area.
Is that where like all the Knights in are?
Yeah, mainly. No, dude, we had a nice condo. It's like a VRBO.
Oh,
rental.
nice,
It was
nice.
nice.
So
Overlooking the Gulf.
I've never done VRBO.
Yeah.
Is that like Airbnb?
I guess I don't know what the difference between all of them are.
It's one's like you run it, and one's like Airbnb collects a certain amount of money.
Dude, I don't know.
Was there like blood on the walls? And
No, it was a nice place.
Oh,
in
all
fact,
right, good.
when we were in the condo, I was like looking at Zillow to see how much the places were. It was $1 million condo.
Dang,
That's
nice.
crazy. Well, yeah.
So that's like easily 800 square feet.
They're pretty big down there. They're good size.
I
It was
know,
good
I'm
size. Had but I mean the whole thing. It was probably $500 a night.
Okay.
But dude, you could easily. We had let's see, 1, 2. We had the four of us,
Okay.
and then my mother-in-law Linda came.
All right.
She was great. But if you wanted to, you could have packed several more people in there. The
Yeah.
place was quite large.
Okay.
So if you were splitting that up amongst like two families, like very,
Easily
very
split it.
affordable, very reasonable, nice place.
Yeah. But what'd you guys do there? So you went down there.
We went to, so we were down there, I think 4 full days.
Okay.
And the day we got in, I think we just did some beach stuff. It was kind of foggy. The weather wasn't great, but it was okay. The next day was kind of foggy again. Just walked around, went to some shops and stuff like that. We did one day where we went to, there was an old Union military
Okay.
outpost there. I can't remember what it's called, Fort something.
Yeah.
And it's actually where Geronimo was held captive. So like Geronimo was chased out down into Mexico, and then when he came back, they found him and then they imprisoned him there.
That's kind of cool.
The base
You do
never
anything
saw
like-
any action or anything like that.
You do anything crazy like look for sharks, fish for anything?
We did a dolphin tour, and we
Okay.
saw like this huge pod of dolphins, and they
That's
were jumping
cool.
out of the water. We got real close to the boat. It was
You
that
guys
was
like,
pretty neat. That was on the last full day we were there. The weather was perfect.
did you ride one?
I got on. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of big, so I had to ride 2, like water
Both
skis.
fins?
Yeah, stood on top of them like water skis with a.
Like every comedy of all time
Exactly.
in an island.
Yes. We're riding dolphins. It was cool. Yeah, it was a nice trip. In fact, it was kind of funny, man. On the way down there. No, I'm sorry. Correction. On the way back home, I saw that we drove by a Jeep Wrangler,
Okay.
and it was a black Jeep Wrangler,
Yep.
and it had a tire cover on it.
Okay.
And it said, "I'm the black Jeep of the family." Kind of
Okay.
a play on words for
Sure.
black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
But it didn't spell out the word Jeep. It
Because the
just
sun.
showed a picture of a Jeep.
Okay.
Well, so if you say, "I'm the black Jeep of the family," but
Yeah.
the word Jeep isn't there,
Yeah.
and you read what those words say,
Yeah.
it's a little weird.
The marketers, they need to be let go.
like you need to spell the word Jeep. Because if
Yeah.
you just show a picture of a Jeep and someone doesn't say the
Fair.
word Jeep,
Yeah.
it just says no. It's
Yeah.
a little weird.
I know. They definitely need to work on that. It's like when you go to the stores though, and you look, and they have all these shirts. Every time you go to somewhere, even like in Michigan, it's like, whatever, pure Michigan.
Yeah, the tourist shops.
I partied in Pensacola.
Yeah,
I birthed a child in Pensacola.
probably. Pensacola's cool though. We did see when we were out at that fort, whatever it was. They were doing the Blue Angels practice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we got to stand on the beach and kind of watch them fly around, which is always pretty neat.
They didn't let you pilot it.
I love the sound, dude. Jets are so awesome.
It makes you feel powerful when it flies.
Totally.
Like it's in your chest.
I'm like, first
you
of
know?
all, I helped pay for that, so I feel a little bit of sense of accomplishment.
Well, did you really?
I mean, my tax dollars helped to fund that. Yeah.
You're like, I paid for 1/1,000,000,000 of a cent of that
Fine.
gas.
I still feel like I own part of it. And the sound of those things, it's just like,
Yeah.
it just blows me away, man.
It like
It's
crackles
so
sometimes when it hits like
cool. Oh,
speed of sound.
So cool.
You're like America.
Oh,
you know?
man, here's something I learned. Okay, so when a plane breaks the sound barrier,
Yep.
you hear a sonic boom.
Yep.
Okay. The entire time that plane is flying, it's making a sonic boom.
Yeah, you can hear it.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Now, you only hear it once
Yep.
because that shockwave only passes you one time.
Yep.
But if you were flying supersonic, like over the United States, over where people
Yeah, it's not
would
gonna
hear,
keep- it's
people
not-
would hear it the whole time.
Yeah.
It would just be like, and that's why, like the Concorde,
Yep.
when the Concorde was flying,
Yep.
it could only go supersonic over the ocean.
Because it would like people be like, "What's going on?"
It's loud as hell.
Yeah.
It's crazy loud. Like you break windows and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I didn't realize that. Like you think sonic boom, it's like as it's passing the sound barrier, it makes the boom.
Yep.
But no, the entire time you're going faster than the speed of sound, it is just one constant boom.
Yeah.
You just don't hear it because it already passed you. But then if you had a line of people lined up going all the way across the U.S. and it flew over them, every single person would just be like, yep, yep, yep. You'd hear it. It'd be like a wave.
Yeah.
Passing, every single person would hear it as it went along.
My stepdad flew planes.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
right.
They would always fly over like farms. You know, not him in particular, but like they would accidentally like kill animals because they're flying so low or whatever, and the sound barrier. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
we're breaking
know.
a sound barrier in those, but they're loud enough that it was probably scaring the
Yeah, it would
hell out of
like
the
kill the
animals.
animals.
Interesting.
I know.
I did see the other day that apparently the volume of jet engines has declined dramatically over the years. Like back in like the 60s and 70s, the
Yeah.
airliners used to be crazy loud.
Interesting.
And they're still very loud now, but they used to be much, much louder. And it actually has led to people being able to live closer to airports. It used to be like they had to put them out like way in the middle of nowhere.
Well, yeah, because I mean that's like almost. I mean, I moved a ton. Like the first thing I do, railroad tracks, airplanes,
Highway noise.
schools, highways. You know, but after you lived in a lot of homes, you're like dog kennels, ballerinas,
Barbecue grills.
barbecue grills.
Oh, dude, speaking of barbecue grills, and I didn't just bring that up because of this, but
Yeah.
I said that and it made me think of it. I got one of those Blackstone flat top griddles.
Yep, it's
Dude.
the one where it's just solid metal on
Yeah.
top.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
nice.
So do you put? Is it gas underneath?
Yeah.
Okay. It wouldn't make sense to put coals, but you never know. Like some people don't want the coal.
No. Well, it was cool because so my daughter's 17, Nora,
Yep.
they had prom this last weekend.
Yeah.
And part of what we agreed to was that after the prom, the kids would kind of go their separate ways. But then the next morning, everyone came back to our
Yeah.
house, and I made like a.
You didn't let them sleep over all in the basement, guys and girls?
No, I did
Come
not.
on.
Surprisingly, and I made everybody breakfast.
Oh, dang,
And
nice.
dude, so I had that griddle, dude. I was cooking up
Dude,
bacon and
yeah.
sausage and eggs and hash browns. Like it was money in the bank.
Dude, you know that your daughter's date came back and they was like, dude, his dad made me breakfast. Like, oh, man.
It was my daughter and two of her friends, and then all their boyfriends. So it was like
Yeah.
6 kids plus my family. And
Yeah.
my buddy who lives down the street came by and got some bacon. And
Did he bring you the eggs? He's like, here's the eggs, Mr. Larry.
Dude, it was bacon, sausage, breakfast steaks, like those real thin ones.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that
like,
was
kind of like
not for
the,
the kids.
what are those? Like,
Little sizzler steaks.
yeah. Steakums.
Thicker than that.
By the way, we're not sponsored by Steakums.
Steakums.
All right.
Hey, send us our check, Steakums. We've been waiting.
Steakums. Have you ever cooked Steakums?
Let's take a moment, actually, to thank one of our sponsors, Steakums. If you've ever thought, I would really like a Philadelphia cheesesteak sandwich, but I live in Michigan, when the hell am I going to get one of those? Well, you can make them at home with Steakums. Visit Steakums.com for more details.
I'm looking forward to this lawsuit. I was
Make sure you
sued
read
by Steakums. Do you imagine that?
Make sure you read the fine
Who
print.
makes Steakums?
Or, I don't know.
There's a little
owns all
logo in the
meat?
corner,
Some
but-
meat company.
You hear that, marketers? I don't even know who makes Steakums. I've been eating them since I was 8.
Some company. I don't know.
All right. So he wasn't like, here's the eggs, Mr. Larry. I know these are so expensive.
No, man.
You just did it
Eggs
all?
have come back down in price. They're regular price.
All right. Well, what if these are like really good eggs?
They were. I got the good ones from Walmart.
Nice.
I was in Walmart.
There's ones where you crack the shell and it's like that thick.
The shell is actually crazy thin on those.
Yeah. Or
Like you
thin.
go to crack it and it just like falls apart in your hand. You're like, good Lord, they're not feeding these things very well.
No.
What are you going to do?
Well, that's cool. All right. So they all came back for breakfast.
Yeah, it was good. I made them like a killer breakfast, but that griddle, that Blackstone
Yeah.
thing was awesome for that.
Did you get that because of the new job?
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
my wife bought it. I just came home one day and it was there, and I'm like, really?
Dang.
She's like, yeah, we've been talking about getting one, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Well, that's cool. All right.
What
So
about you, man? How's life? Did you go on any vacations anytime?
my wife's family came here.
Oh,
So
okay.
she couldn't take off just because like employees already had off before she got started her new job. Mm-hmm. You know, so we hung out here. In-laws came, big listeners, big fans.
I know we should have done a live podcast for our fans.
Alive,
Live, yeah, in front of them.
we can.
Oh, they're here now.
What do you know?
Hey.
You can like superimpose them. Come on in. Well, with technology nowadays, it could be on my face. You know. All right. No, they came. It was good. We hung out. Except for every time, I'm not making this up. Family comes. It's raining, snowing. You know, every time.
What did you guys do?
We went bowling.
Okay. How'd you do?
We did great.
What's the best you've ever bowled?
180 something.
Seriously?
181.
That's pretty good.
I mean, it's all right. No bumpers.
Dude, 181 is good.
Yeah, it was like my best.
I
But
think
when
my
I was,
best is like I don't think I've ever broken 150. I think my best is like 148.
I think I did 140 when they were in town.
Yeah,
You
I just
know.
did that the other day. We went bowling and I bowled 148, and then on the next round I bowled like a 70.
I know. The next like round after, I'm done.
I actually
because
hurt my knee. I'm like, what a loser.
tie in your shoe.
I, like,
or
twist
strap in your shoe.
No, just trying to put a little too much English on the ball, and I like torqued my knee a little bit. It was
Well,
sore.
so like they came, so we did the Continental Lanes.
Yeah.
By the way, Continental Lanes, best in town. So
Let's take a moment and talk about one of our sponsors, Continental Lanes.
dude, we should start
If you live in Portage, Kalamazoo area,
Yeah.
and you want to go to the bowling alley that doesn't have other fun stuff to do, just bowling only, Continental Lanes is the bowling alley for you. Now, the beauty of Continental Lanes is your kids aren't going to be pestering you for money to go play a bunch of stupid video games and race and go-karts, because that is expensive.
Yeah.
Continental Lanes. Visit our website at continentallanes.com/misunderstood guidance podcast.
It's one of those things where it's like, don't be a gutter ball.
I like it. That's good.
What's your pun if you had to come up with a pun for it?
Oh man, I like man. Hold on.
It's on. I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Don't be a kingpin.
If your friends are out on a date, they might, and you're hanging out with them, they might consider you a spare.
Oh,
But you can be sure that you'll get a strike. Or
Don't
your buddy's
strike
gonna
out with your
strike out.
buddies.
Strikeout's kind of baseball, though.
that's true. They wouldn't. You're right. They wouldn't get that.
If you're a third wheel, some might consider you a spare. I just call you a turkey. That's when you get 3 strikes in a row.
Dude, bowling jokes are so underrated. They need to bring those back.
Going forward, the name of this podcast will be Misunderstood Bowling with Ryan and Larry. So
8-pound balls.
So what weight ball do you use when you bowl?
13.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do a 13, 14.
The thing though, like when you, and we've been doing this for 33 minutes, this podcast, so we probably should wrap it up.
33 minutes.
But when you would bowl, the fingers never fit. So like your hand starts getting sore. You're getting tired.
You got to find the bowling ball with big finger holes in it.
Yeah, but you know they're not sterilizing those things. Every time
It's
I'm
all
like,
right. I use when I go to the bowling alley, I use hand sanitizer like 12 times.
you're the guy who's
whole
like
time
strike and then you eat the fries.
there. Yeah, gross, dude. Nasty. All right, so you guys went bowling. What else did you do when they were here?
I'm trying to think. It was a couple weeks ago. We went to one of the museums.
Which one?
We went to one with Grand Rapids. I think that was when my family was here. The one that's right off
Kids Museum?
the highway. It's like literally right off the highway.
Okay.
So they came. It was actually really good. Like I was pretty impressed.
Was it the kids museum or no?
No, it's the 3-story one. So it's
I
like
haven't been there.
they actually had this thing there. This was my
It's
family's.
just like the regular art museum.
Yeah, but what they did was they took like they had this thing of fashion, and it was all recycled stuff. So like the dresses were made of, but it did not look like it. Like if you went in, you're like, oh, some kid made this at a 7-Up labels. I mean, it was like legit clothing, and they're like, this is how much waste you use as a human in this amount of time, and they made all these.
Why do they
you
always
know.
got to have a message, man? Like, why is it always got to be about humans? We waste stuff. Duh. I know we do.
Well, what they did was like they took the shirts,
Yeah.
old shirts, and they would make like one blanket out of it. So it's like, how can you reuse it? Or how many, actually something interesting, I can't remember the number, people Google it. It was like, how many gallons of water does it take to clean your clothes? And it was something astronomical, like 96 gallons or something crazy. It might have been in a week. Again, you can fact check me. But I was like amazed. I'm like, it's that many gallons.
What do they want us to do?
Drink the water after.
What do they want us to do? Water is not wasted. So when we live in a city, our water, all the water that goes down the drain
Yeah.
just gets cleaned
Cleaned.
and reprocessed.
Yeah.
It's not going out into the ocean.
We don't have, we're not even by an ocean.
Exactly. Exactly.
Michigan water.
Water's recycled. It's like recycled. The only problem is if if you're in a drought and you're not replenishing the aquifer enough. So like when you water your lawn,
Yep.
that water is basically wasted.
Yeah.
It evaporates.
Sure.
But like water you flush down the toilet or goes down the sink, that just gets recycled.
Yeah. And then you're drinking it. And then you're drinking it.
You're drinking your own poop water. You are.
You ever seen those plants? They're cleaning them.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
spinning it around.
Yeah, they get all that poop out of there
Yeah.
and clean it all out and then clean it up and send it
That's
back
why
to
when you
you.
take a drink, you look at your buddy, you're like, thanks, man.
Hey, I got a question for you. Do you know what the purpose of a water tower is?
To store water is what the average American would say.
But why store it so high?
I
Why
don't
store it up so high?
know. Is this a joke?
No. There's a reason.
You know why? So people don't steal it,
No.
I would assume.
No.
Is water taste better at that altitude?
Yeah, that's part of it. Why store it up so high?
I don't know.
That's where your water pressure comes from.
Oh, because the pressure sends it down.
Yeah. So what they do is now a water tower is like a battery
Yeah.
for water.
Yep.
It because they could just run pumps all day because
Yep.
you can get water pressure from a pump, but the problem is water is not used at a consistent rate. It gets used a lot in the morning when people are showering, then it gets used a lot in the evening when people are doing laundry and dishes, and then during the day it's not getting used quite as much. So what they do is they're always pumping water up to the water tower to keep it full,
Yep.
and then when people need the water, it comes out of the tower.
Yep.
But it's mainly there for pressure.
Huh.
And but there has to be enough in the water tower. So a bigger
Yeah.
city has a bigger water tower because you got more people using it, because the pump that pumps the water runs at a constant rate. So once that water tower is full, as the water's coming down, the pump turns on and keeps filling it back up.
Yep.
But it's dropping, and so then once the utilization goes down, the water tower's maybe half empty. It just fills it right back up.
Well,
But it's for water pressure.
another fun fact, if you're flying a plane and you lose your GPS, you look at the water towers, and it'll tell you what town you're in.
Interesting.
Yeah. Fun fact Friday, even though is it Tuesday? Monday.
Dude, that'd be a funny trick to paint the wrong names on the water towers. So how do you get water pressure in a skyscraper?
All the way to the top, you mean?
Yeah.
Got to be a pump.
There's a water tower on top of the building.
Well, some are. Yeah.
I think all of them.
Yeah, you can see them like in like some of the tall buildings. You'll
That's
see them
right.
up there.
Yeah, you look on
that
you
and a
see,
pickleball
like,
court.
Yeah, a pickleball court and a water tower.
Yeah.
That's what it does. So it pumps water up to the tower, and then it provides water pressure for the building.
Well, I think that's a good note to end on.
Fun facts.
Yeah. So if you want to drink your water, put it on top of your head and then put a straw down.
Then you'll get a siphon going and it won't stop.
That's true.
I do like that. I siphoned I had some gas in my snowblower.
Yep.
I had to siphon it out, so I just got
Ooh.
a tube, and I like sucked the gas until it got close to my mouth. And
Yeah.
then I plugged it with my thumb, and then I drain it.
it works.
It works great.
Oh, you don't swallow it.
Just don't
No.
swallow. Spit.
All right. What do you want to say? I'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah, what's the guidance here?
This is more like a catch-up day.
Yeah, this is a catch-up day, but I think we can have some guidance on this one. One, road trips with the family are great.
Yeah.
We
You
went
drove down, too.
We went down to Florida, and that's actually one of my favorite parts of the trip is the road trip and being in the car and being the dad and like,
Yep.
hey, I'm going to get you guys here. I'm going to get you here safe and sound, and it's going to be a fun time. So yeah, in this day and age where you can get cheap flights to places, I think that's fine. It's okay to fly to vacations, but it doesn't matter how much money you got. You should still take road trips with your kids.
Yeah, you basically locked them in. They're not going
Yeah,
anywhere.
take a road trip with your kids.
Yeah.
Don't always look for the fastest, easiest way. Enjoy the ride.
I like it.
What about you? Any guidance?
If you're first time bowling, you got to use the bumpers.
Bumpers it is. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the Misunderstood Guidance podcast,
Yep.
a.k.a. the Misunderstood Bowling podcast.
And Spring Break podcast.
And don't forget to visit our sponsors, Steakums and Continental Lanes.
Steakums.
Steakums, dude.
All right.
Peace.
Cue the music.
Cue the music.
We
Do-do-do.
can't hear it, but let's act like we can. Good music.
There's